The Trump administration has asked a federal appeals court to lift restrictions on conducting immigration raids in Southern California. It comes nearly a week after a California judge ordered ICE agents to stop making arrests without probable cause. Now, that ruling required officers to stop arresting people based only on their race, the language they speak, or their job. Let's bring in CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane to help us break all of this down. Scott, thank you for joining us today. We know the administration claims this order is an overstep. So can you break down their argument?
Yeah, they're going to argue for an appeals court to put a hold on this order so that they can resume the types of deportation efforts and enforcement efforts they were doing before the court ruling. What the judge has said here to the administration is go back to the drawing board, send your Department of Homeland Security back and come up with a new set of criteria for detaining somebody, for bringing somebody into custody, that what was being used so far is far from sufficient. But to be clear, in this case, it really impacts only that metropolitan area around Los Angeles, where the Central District of California, where the judge is based who issued this ruling. It's about 7 counties around Los Angeles, very populated counties, a epicenter of where immigration officials are doing their enforcement. But we'll see if the appeals court steps in and puts a hold on this lower court ruling.
And Scott, we know you also did some reporting on the ongoing purge of top Justice Department prosecutors, and it's having an impact on a case involving a Florida man swindling money from a fund supporting kids with special needs. Can you tell us more about this trickle-down effect?
The critics of the administration say they're undertaking a retribution tour here by firing prosecutors who were part of that January 6th prosecution of rioters and those who were part of the special counsel's investigation of President Trump. One of the prosecutors fired in this purge is a man named Michael Gordon, based in Tampa. He was handling, in the past, January 6 cases, but this month he was handling the case of a man named Leo Gavani, who is charged with fraud in Florida and who is accused of bilking people with special needs and parents of special needs children out of $100 million in money for their needs and their health care. Gavani's case was being prosecuted by Michael Gordon, who is now fired for January 6 reasons, he believes. And victims in that Gavani case worry that firing is going to delay things and delay their pursuit of justice.
Yeah, and that's a worthy concern, worthy to note that might just make their case not be heard as soon as it should be, or they may not get the justice that they're looking for. So a very unfortunate situation there. On a similar topic, Scott, for now, the United States Supreme Court is allowing mass firings at the Department of Education. What was that decision based on?
It broadens the aperture now for potential reductions in force at federal agencies across the country. What the Supreme Court did here was kind of overturn what a lower court had done and allows for the U.S. Department of Education to try to push forward with more cuts of more employees as the agency tries to shrink itself. It's trying to make itself irrelevant and cut as much as they can cut. You can't get rid of the U.S. Department of Education if you're the Trump administration, because Congress has to have some voice in that. The Supreme Court said, though, that the Trump administration and the department can do the cuts they want to make in the meantime. And what the critics are saying is that they're trying to starve the U.S. Department of Education by cutting people, by cutting programs, cutting initiatives, and that type of progress for the administration can resume.
Wow. All right. Scott MacFarlane, as always, thank you so much for all your reporting. We appreciate it.